Moving along to item number D on the agenda is the ordinance amending Chapter 12.220, regulating wireless telecommunication facilities. And this is a resolution that will be going towards the City Council, and it does require a roll call vote as well.
All right. Thank you. I believe everyone was on the commission at the time. About three years ago, we put forward a telecommunications ordinance, and what it did was update our existing ordinance for cell phone antennas and cell phone towers. And the one that we had previously was over a decade old, so it wasn't a response to the newer facilities that we're seeing. Subsequent to the Planning Commission and the City Council adopting that ordinance, the state also enacted guidelines that each local ordinance must be consistent with. And for the most part, our guidelines are consistent with it, but there are several cleanup items that we have to bring forward with you tonight. You may also remember from our ordinance that we encourage co-location. Well, the state ordinance also did encourage co-location in all areas of a city. And what the state ordinance said is, if a city is reviewing an application for a co-locating cell phone antenna, they have to review that administratively. That can't go through a discretionary use permit. So if someone is going and, let's say that cell site was approved tonight and someone a year down the line wants to put up one more antenna for another cell phone carrier, we would have to approve that through the building permit process and not through the use permit process. That's just for co-location of antennas. What the state law also says that is for any new cell phone tower, though, a completely new cell phone tower, regardless of what area of town it's in, that has to go through a public hearing process. So that's the second change that we have within our ordinance. Currently, our ordinance says that if you're within a commercial area or an industrial area and you meet stealth requirements, it could be approved administratively by the planning department, by the community development director. So what this would change is that we would have to publicly notice it now if there's a new cell phone tower on El Camino or a new cell phone tower on Montgomery Avenue. So those are the two small changes. After reviewing this ordinance, we also noticed that there was a few inconsistencies with our definitions in terms of defining cell phone antenna versus cell phone tower, and we did not include that within the ordinance, but we would request that the Planning Commission add to the resolution that's before you tonight, recommending that staff clarify the definitions between the state ordinance and the local ordinance. So with that, I could take any questions.
Thank you.
Through the chair.
Commissioner Chase.
In regards to a co-location versus, a new pole, what would be the boundaries of a co-location? I mean, could somebody, theoretically say, okay, well, yeah, you got the golf course, the driving range there, and there is an antenna there on one area of, that property, and on the far end, where there's no pole, but we're going to erect a new pole, although there's a telecommunication pole on the front end, but it's so far removed from where this other one is proposed. I mean, what are the parameters for a new location or a co-location?
I think the easiest way to define that, it has to be part of the same cell phone tower. So, if you have your own cell phone tower like the applicant before us was proposing to do, it would have to be part of that tower structure and not part of a completely separate one. It also, another thing I didn't point out, it also still has to be consistent with the previous discretionary permit. So it has to be consistent with the previous use permit conditions of approval, including stealth design.
So the erection of a new pole at the driving range would not just be it would come before the Planning Commission.
Correct.
Because of the whole new pole.
Correct.
But if they had an existing one, they were just adding some new equipment onto it, then it just goes to the permit process.
Yeah.
Correct? Okay.
Well, it goes through the building permit process.
That's what I meant. Yes. Thanks.
Any other questions? Thank you. As I mentioned, this is a resolution, and roll call vote. Is there a recommendation? Oh, thank you. I'd like to open it now to the public. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak on this project? Okay, hearing none, public hearing is now closed. Bring it back to commission.
Through the chair.
Commissioner Peterson.
I move the commission Move the commission adopt a resolution, waive the reading. Oh, you mean and add the, that the staff review the resolution between our language and state language and reconcile them.
Second.
It's been moved, well, actually, it's not a move and second, is it?
It's a resolution.
It's a resolution.
And then it's a roll call now. Okay. Commissioner Samut?
Aye.
Vice Chair Chase?
Aye.
Chair Johnson?
Aye.
Commissioner Biasotti?
Aye.
Commissioner Mishra?
Aye.
And Commissioner Peterson?
Yes.
Motion passes 6-0.
Thank you.